The financial markets are the most complicated instruments ever in the world of making money. Yet, every public traded company comes to this world. They are aiming for an IPO and be able to be available to every investor out there, retail institution, everybody. And that's why you just come to realize that the more you learn about the markets, the less you understand them, and the more complicated they continue being. Because what we really have, it's just the charts listed on TradingView, listed just on your stock exchange broker. But the real deal, it's the company is driven by macro fundamentals that we don't see, institutional infrastructure that is built behind the company's operating system. And yet we are out here trying to look at the charts and speculate what will happen next. See, that's why actually, if you just think about it on a deeper level, it's the markets are designed for speculations. Every public traded company you see, from Apple to just shitty companies that nobody knows about, they are all set for speculations. As retail investors, that's all we do. We just look at the charts, go to a broker, try to draw some charts, to try read some news, and then speculate on our investments. And that's why we are always on the losing end, because the markets are not designed for cash flow. They are not. They are designed for speculation, and speculation never wins. Like, never. Literally. Because you are trying to sit down and draw some fucking stupid lines on the chart and try to predict if this stock is going to go up or down. But think about it. These guys have infrastructure that is running the entire company, $1 billion company, and you're trying to sit there with your $1,000 investment to bet that this company is going to go up in the next 6 months. Come on. You are always on the losing end. Always on the losing end. That's why companies like Kalshi and Polymarket, I am betting that those companies they will make a lot of money because they have just made it so easy for the average investor to speculate what will happen in 24 hours, in one day, whatever time frame it is, that XYZ is going to happen in the world, in the markets. But think about it. You're just trying to bet on something that does not exist. Like, just an example. You just see, I saw this on Polymarket, that they're asking the question like, will, will President Donald Trump say a word banana in his statement? Guess what? Somebody is just placing $5,000 bet that he is going to do that. What if he doesn't? You just lost. How long did it take you to lose that money? You tell me, because you're always on the losing end. That's why in the world of investing and these markets, there's portfolio management. And if you just think about it, portfolio management is just trying to tighten risk as much as possible and trying to catch fair, let's call them fair risk to reward on your bets. Not outsized, not massive, fair risk to reward on your bets. That's why it's called portfolio management, because we are all trying to control our risk as small as possible, very, very small, and those good bets that we will get, which they are not guaranteed, first of all, to have a fair risk to reward than what we risked. That's why it is all about portfolio management. Okay, just think about it. That means retail traders, we are always losing. You be a trader, you be an investor, whoever you are always on the losing end. Okay, because you will never get it right. Just think about a company like BlackRock. BlackRock runs the entire United States. It has like $12 trillion under management from pension funds, KRA, Rodare, what else? Almost everything in the financial markets. These guys, they have Bitcoin, IBIT, ETF. They run the entire market. So you wanna come here and tell me that Bitcoin is going to hit 150K in 12 months? You are crazy, because yours is just intuition and feelings, whatever that is. And you wanna tell me you're gonna be a millionaire by doing that? No, nope, 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 nope. You know, the reality is you'll never get it right. The more you try to learn, the less you'll understand it. Fair enough. The more you try to get every bit of knowledge you have inside that stuff, you'll never get it. 3 weeks, the market is going down. The next 4 weeks, it is up. The next 6 months is actually just ranging in one place. I don't know how that will affect you. Does it affect your financial situation? Maybe. But being an investor, I think it's harder than running a business. Because here we are not trying to talk about customer acquisition lead. If you know you're gonna do that, you know you make money. But being an investor long term, I think it's more harder than running a business. Although in a 20-year time frame, it is easier, but on a 5-year time frame, it is harder. I don't even know if that makes sense, but whatever. I think that's why we'll never get it right. Why every investor makes an investment decision. Why do you buy? Why do you sell? If I sit here and try to say, why did James buy this stock? Would I really give you the reason? No, I will not. Because James is sitting on his computer at his home, wherever he is. Maybe I am in Africa, maybe he's in Europe, or whatever place he is. And he just made a $10,000 investment into a company, into a stock. Why did he do that? Do I know? No. Will I sit here and try copy him, make the same investment decision? I don't think so. I don't think so. I just don't know if this rant really makes sense, but you think about it on a deeper end, you're always on the losing side. Always. Always, always. And the problem is 95% of retail investors, they do make those decisions based on fear, greed, only emotional based or headline driven decisions. They saw somebody tweet, I'm going to buy this stock at $10. They just pour all their savings there, then company goes to zero because of influence. Because retail investors, we don't have enough knowledge to compete against the guy who makes the money. You're all about speculating. That's all you do. That's all we all do. And just think about it. The guys who make money from this game, they only have a return between 12% to 20% per year. Those are institutions, hedge funds, money managers, big guys with big money. That's what they return. Now tell me why. Because this is a game designed for capital preservation. Just think about it like this. It's just a game designed for you to limit yourself to lose nothing, considering every possible situation during market crashes, rallies, whatever. It's all about capital preservation. Almost lose nothing, just lose as much as possible. Because tell me, if those guys they have a return of 12 to 20% per year, how many trades do they make? How many investment decisions do they make? Almost less than five. I can bet on that. And if they make max, then 50% of the investment decision they are ready to lose them, and they're going to lose nothing. And that's why they are all top of the game, year after year after year after year after year after year. Hmm? Yet you are here trying to make $1 million from one trade, from one investment. You just want to buy Apple at whatever price it is, then expect it to go higher. Come on, it won't happen. It won't happen. And that's why getting rich from this industry, it's hard. But just think about this. The guy who is playing a 10-year game, I think they are always gonna win. Because people like Warren Buffett and other long-term investors, they always, if they make an investment, they're willing to play along with the volatility for 10 years. Just do nothing. Let it be. Let it be. Whatever happens, happens. You can't control. But do not speculate. And that's why I still coming to back to my point. Institutions have the infrastructure and operating systems under that company. And those things, they are the only fundamental reasons the stock will go up or down. It's not what you really think. Headlines, speculations, trying to win tomorrow, trying to make $1 million from that. It won't happen. And if they run the infrastructure, then how do you even get hold of the infrastructure? We have to stop thinking like retail investors. We have to start thinking on a bigger scale. How to get hold of those infrastructure data that runs the company, their earnings. That's all it is. If you can get data on the macro side of you, then I think you have a better chance of outperforming 90% of investors in the market. And just think about it. If companies like venture fund, yeah, venture fund, what do they fail? Why do 90% of those companies go down? Because they're just trying to play a dangerous game, a speculation game. Try to sit down and try to bet that this is going to be the next $1 billion unicorn company, and we're going to pour $50 million into it. Then guess what? The first 2 years, the company takes off. But the third year, the company starts going down. By year 5, the company does not exist. Now that company, they just lost money. $50 million. And it took them 5 years to lose that. Not 1 year. 5 years. Now guess what? If they just focused on betting on companies that gonna add value to the market, to the world, change how we work, even if it takes them 10 years, 15 years to get there, guess what? They never lost money at the first place. They are up. Than you and me, we are trying to speculate what happens. That's why predictive markets like Polymarket, Kalshi, those companies will always be on top and they will be here for a long time. They just started and they're gonna make the most profit ever because people love gambling. People love gambling, especially if you're from a poor background. You just want to make it, you just want to get out of that trench. You're gonna take your savings, take your few dollars, go to those poly market and try to place a bet on what will happen, and then you just pray to God that you win. Maybe sometimes, but I guess you will only win 20% of the time. 80% you are cooked big time. That's why after all this much thinking and being in the financial markets for now over 4 years as swing trader, but transition to portfolio management, I just have come to one conclusion, which is just focus on investment. That they're gonna last 10 to 15 years without interruption, without caring what happens, because you cannot control that. If Bitcoin tomorrow decides to go to zero, you can't control that. It runs on a massive scale, massive computers. And you're just trying to sit here with your 30K bet, 20K, $5, whatever the price is, and hoping that Bitcoin gets to 1 million so that you can be rich. Come on. It won't happen. That's why I came to this one realization. It's all about long-term game, a 10, 15-year investment game. That's how you win. That's the only way you actually win. That's why I am building my own company, a holding company actually, that only focus on disruptive innovation technology. And I'm only focused on 5 platforms, which is blockchain, AI, energy, genotomics, and the last one is, oh come on, the last one is just trying to skip my mind. Come on. Fuck. The last one is just skip my mind. But there are 5. These things, they only gonna change how the world works. We are not trying to speculate what will happen because we cannot control what AI will do. Actually, the fifth one is robotics. If we can sit down and bet that robotics will make our lives better, industry better, systems work better, then why not place your investment bets today and just control your risk, know how much you're willing to risk, and let it be. Even if AI takes 5 years to change the world, at least it will. And if you position yourself as highly as possible, you're already on the winning side. You can try to speculate what Trump will say on a speech or what the markets will do in the next 6 months. It won't happen. But if we focus on long term investing, long term, we will always be on the winning side. That's why my company has 2 sides, which is disruptive tech innovation and a hedge fund. And this hedge fund, we are not trying to focus on betting anything massive. No, 25% per year return, that's fantastic to me. Trust me. On $1 billion, you can do your math. You can do your math. Because I'm just tired of trying to see everybody try get out of the trenches. We are from poor backgrounds. But the more we try to rush to get out of the trenches, the longer it will take us. Because we're just losing money on the wrong stuff. Completely on the wrong stuff. It's not that we are not intelligent enough, but it's just because our eyes are not open wide enough. Social media just sells this narrative of quick money. 6 months, you are rich, you are a millionaire. Some, it will happen. Others, it won't. It's all a game. It just depends which part you will end up falling. But if you can think about long-term investing and just focus on things that gonna change how the world works, not just a small scale, but on a massive scale, and bet your entire life on those, I think you're gonna win. Just think about it. If an investor in the 2000 to 2005 period, let's just take that 5 year period, they focus on investing on internet based companies. Internet based companies, that means from Google to Oracle to Amazon to Alibaba. Where are they today? Where are they today? Okay, they have massive returns. Okay, if the guys between 2007 to 2011, around 2012, 2013, somewhere there, they just focus on betting on growth of social media apps, and they bet on Instagram, WhatsApp, WeChat, WeWork. Guess what? They have massive returns. But did it happen on a 2-year period? No. Nope. But if you look on a 10-year investment plan, they're on the winning side. There's this company which I love so much, which is Vista Equity Partners. Is a private equity company. We just focus on businesses. But do you know how long these guys have been in existence? Since 2000, if I'm not wrong, 20 years, $100 billion asset under management. Just not a game of speculation. It's a game of infrastructure and knowing who has the money, who has the power to place the bets, who has the money to run the entire industry. This is just to raise awareness of short-term investing plans. That's what I don't even want to do this. I've focused on just trying to move my entire focus into inside of portfolio management into a 6-month investment every quarter, at least 3 months. Because this thing about trying to predict a month what will happen, it's so tiring and it's so frustrating, and it's gonna keep you in one place forever. No matter how knowledge you have, no matter what you have, it doesn't matter. But if you wanna win, trust me, it won't be short term. You might win today, but in 10 years game, will you still be alive? Will you still be in the game? Or will you gonna quit? I don't know. And yeah, that was my rant about what I just think about the financial markets and why short-term investing will never pay off. It can pay off a couple $1,000, but on a long time scale, you will always be on the losing side. But it's always a choice. Make yours. And as usual, I'll see you on the other side. Peace.